When you shared your concerns about car debt, it really got me thinking. I mean, how many people are out there in the same boat, right? We hear all the time about mortgages and those student loans, but car debt, that can be a real burden, a silent one for a lot of folks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a burden that often gets a lot heavier than we think it will, at first.
That's exactly why I thought it would be a good idea to dig into Chapter 17 from The Complete Book on Bankruptcy
Oh, yeah.
by Peter Francis Geraci.
Of Geraci law.
Of Geraci law, right.
Mhm.
It's all about using bankruptcy to kind of navigate these, difficult car situations.
Yeah, for sure. It's full of some really eye-opening stuff. Like, for instance, did you know that back in 1991, the average cost of financing a car was over $425 a month?
Wow.
Can you imagine what that would be with inflation today? That's crazy to think about.
It is crazy. It really makes you think about just how much money we're spending just to get around,
Yeah.
get from A to B. And the book really hits hard on the fact that it's not just about the price tag on the car, right?
Yeah.
It's all those hidden costs that come with owning a car.
Exactly. Jersey actually, he points out that depreciation can just eat away at a car's value like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not uncommon for a brand new car to lose like 20% of its value just as soon as you drive it off the lot.
Well, wow.
Add in stuff like financing and gas and insurance and the maintenance, and it all adds up to way more than a lot of people plan for.
So, okay, what about those folks who are already kind of stuck with a car loan that they just can't seem to handle?
Mhm.
Is surrendering the car always like the best way to go? What do you think?
Well, the book, it actually says be careful about just jumping to that conclusion. It actually gives a really organized way to make that decision. Like it says, you should ask yourself, are the payments even manageable? Do I owe more on the loan than what the car is actually worth at this point? Is the car insured and is everything up to date? And I think this is the most important one. Could I get a better deal if I go through bankruptcy?
So it's not just like this black and white, keep it or surrender it
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah.
There's actually more to think about.
Exactly. There are a lot of nuances there. And even if you're, facing repossession, there might still be some hope.
Okay.
The book explains that filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy can actually wipe out any debt that's left over after the lender sells the car.
Mm.
Or, if you go with Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you might even be able to get the car back by working out, like a new payment plan.
It's interesting how bankruptcy can be like a lifeline in these what seem like really tough situations.
Yeah.
And one thing I like about this book is that it doesn't just like throw around legal jargon and all these complicated ideas. It actually talks about real people who have gone through this.
Oh, for sure. Like take Ted, for instance.
Yeah, Ted.
He was in an accident and he didn't have insurance, so he was just drowning in debt, from the car loan, from the accident itself, and he might have even gotten sued.
Oh, man. It's like you can almost feel the weight of the world on his shoulders.
That's like,
But then bankruptcy came along and kind of helped him hit that reset button, got rid of those debts so he could move on with his life without, losing his driver's license, things like that.
it's a perfect example of how sometimes bankruptcy is the best way to get back on track, financially speaking.
For sure. Then there's Bill, who was stuck with this car loan that was like included the leftover balance from a trade-in he had done.
Yeah.
So his monthly payment was $457.
Wow.
I mean, it's no wonder he was having a hard time.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he was able to surrender the car through bankruptcy, and he got rid of that massive debt. Now he can actually save up for a car that's more reasonable, without that huge payment hanging over his head.
Exactly.
Sometimes letting go is the best thing you can do for your finances.
Absolutely.
And then there's Ralph. His story's kind of different.
Yeah, Ralph's interesting.
Yeah.
He had a pretty decent car, manageable payments and all, but he had all this other debt, like medical bills and credit card debt. And he filed for bankruptcy, was able to deal with that debt, and it made his car payment much easier to handle.
See, that shows how bankruptcy isn't just about cars. It's about taking control of your whole financial situation, right?
For sure.
And that's where the experience of Geraci law really stands out, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter Francis Jersey, the author, he's got tons of experience in this field. And Jersey law, I mean, they've helped so many people get out of debt. It's really something.
What's really great is that they're committed to giving clear information that everyone can understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
They even offer free consultations,
Mm-hmm.
which is fantastic for anyone who's feeling lost or unsure about what to do.
For sure. They get it, Asking for help with your finances can be intimidating.
Yeah.
So they make sure that it's a supportive environment, no judgment. It's all about getting people the information they need to make the right decision for them.
And that brings us to one of the most important things they talk about in the book.
Right. This podcast is just for information. Don't take it as legal advice, okay?
Right.
It's also, well, attorney advertising, what happened in the past doesn't mean you'll get the same results. And just listening to this doesn't mean you're like a client of jury law or any of their
The
lawyers.
stuff we're talking about is general.
Right.
Might not apply to everyone's situation.
Right.
If you want personalized advice, you got to talk to a lawyer.
Yeah.
A real one.
Yeah.
Geraci Law, they offer those free consultations to help you make a good choice.
Exactly.
So yeah, contact them if you want to know more.
For-
And that's just one of the most important things they talk about in the book. It's that bankruptcy isn't this, big scary thing that ruins your life.
Right.
It can actually be like a fresh start,
Yeah.
a way to rebuild
Yeah. A chance to kind of breathe again.
our finances.
Financially, yeah. The book even mentions that a lot of Geraci law clients, they can qualify for a home mortgage pretty soon after they file.
Really?
Yeah, because their debt-to-income ratio gets so much better.
Wait, hold on. Break that down for me. What is a debt-to-income ratio?
Sure.
And how does bankruptcy even play into that?
It's basically just the percentage of your income that goes to paying off debt every month.
Okay.
And lenders use it to decide if you can pay back a loan.
Okay.
So when you file for bankruptcy, you get rid of or restructure some of your debt so that ratio, it naturally improves.
I see it.
And that makes you a better borrower.
So it's like going through bankruptcy can actually make you a better candidate for a mortgage.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. It kind of goes against what people usually think about bankruptcy,
Yeah.
that it's like a bad mark that follows you around forever.
Right, right.
It's more about understanding how it works and how it can actually help you financially.
Yeah. And what I really like about Geraci Law is that they seem to really work with each person.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care how much you make. They just want to help people who are struggling with debt.
Absolutely.
Whether you're making, $30,000 a year or $130,000
Doesn't matter to them.
or even more.
Yep. The book really stresses that it's important to get advice that's specific to you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's situation is different,
Right.
and there's no one solution that works for everyone. That's why Geraci Law, they offer this free credit counseling course.
Really?
That's not even about bankruptcy.
Mm.
It's at infotapes.com.
Cool. What kind of stuff do they talk about in this course?
It's pretty comprehensive, all about bankruptcy, credit, debt, the whole 9 yards, different types of bankruptcy, what it does to your credit score, the good and bad of filing, other ways to manage debt. It's a good way to learn and make smart choices about your money.
I love that they offer this for free. It really shows they care about helping people understand all this financial stuff.
Totally. It goes right along with their mission
Yeah.
to make bankruptcy something that anyone can use.
Right, right. So before we finish up with Chapter 17, we want to remind you.
Of course, this is just for information, not legal advice.
Right.
And it's, attorney advertising, Past results don't mean you'll get the same outcome.
Right.
And just listening to this doesn't make you a client of Geraci Law or any of their lawyers.
The information we're talking about here is general.
Mm-hmm.
It might not apply to everyone.
Right.
If you want advice for your specific situation, talk to a qualified attorney. Geraci Law offers free consultations, to help you make informed decisions. Contact them today to learn more.
Exactly.
We'll be back in a sec with a final thought for you to consider. So we've talked about a lot in Chapter 17.
Yeah, we have. From all the hidden costs that come with owning a car to how bankruptcy can actually help you if you've got too much car debt.
And we heard those real stories, like Ted, Bill, and Ralph.
Yeah, real people who use bankruptcy to get past their car problems and get their finances back on track.
We also talked about how great Geraci Law is, like how they want to make bankruptcy easy for everyone to understand.
Absolutely.
So to wrap things up, I want to leave you with something to think about. What if getting rid of a car that's causing you financial stress could actually help your credit in the long run?
It might sound kind of strange, but like we said, sometimes bankruptcy can lead to a better credit score.
Right.
It's about making smart choices, for your future. And sometimes that means letting go of something that's holding you back.
Bankruptcy isn't failing. It's about getting back in control of your money, making decisions that help you move forward.
Exactly.
And remember, if you're struggling with car debt or any other money problems, you don't have to go through it alone.
Geraci Law, They're there to help you every step of the way.
Before we go, we got to remind you.
This is just for information, not legal advice, okay?
Right.
And it's attorney advertising. Past results don't mean you'll get the same results, you
Yeah.
know? And just listening to us doesn't make you a client of Geraci Law or any of their lawyers.
The stuff we talk about, it's general, might not apply to everyone.
Right.
For advice that's specific to you, you got to talk to a qualified attorney.
Yeah.
Geraci Law offers free consultations, to help you make those good decisions. So contact them today to learn more.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into car troubles and bankruptcy. Hope it was helpful and gave you some ideas.
Until next time, keep learning and keep looking for ways to take charge of your financial well-being.